Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Bharat Varta podcast. I'm Ashish Chandorkar, your host for the day. And today we have with us Siddharth Shirole, who's the first time MLA from the Shivaji Nagar constituency in the Pune city. Siddharth has been a corporator and he's one of the youngest politicians in Maharashtra, very visible in the last few weeks and months during the pandemic times. Those of you who are active on Twitter would have seen him helping various people in Pune at different points of time. Welcome, Siddharth, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Right. So, Siddharth, we will have a few questions regarding your work and your view about how Pune is evolving and so on. So, let me start by asking, what have you been doing in the pandemic times?
Like personally or professionally?
Both.
No, see, basically, this pandemic has been, as I introspect 7, 8 months down the line, it's been a once in a lifetime experience of facing a global pandemic and dealing through it. So it was full of surprises. Every day was unprecedented. We've not seen such kind of time, at least in our generation, and hence everything was new. And uh, how I look back at it is was that you have to take every day as it comes and try to deal with the fear that this virus got in, and then the kind of problems that this virus created apart from the fear, and navigating through them, helping out, reaching out to people who need help. Later on, there was a stage where people started to live with the virus. There were medical precedences, and slowly and steadily the treatment started getting better. And now we've come to a point where it seems like the virus is getting into control, and now we are for another big challenge of economic revival, is kind of post-war kind of a situation, and this will be the real test before the world gets back to normal. And how do we actually, how does the world see through this economic turmoil, and that has been caused because of this so-called act of, and how do we finally see that day when we will be proclaiming that we are back to the pre-COVID era. So I think it's a range of experiences, emotions that has been 7.5 months, and it's not done yet. But optimism, there's light at the end of the tunnel that I can visualize. But still, it's going to be a long haul. If that's what I can envisage.
Right. So, Siddharth, you almost became the face of Pune during these 7, 8 months. You were very active. People who were even outside the city, if their friends and family were in need in the city, they were reaching out to you. It was not about constituency per se, right? Because there are several leaders, several parties, and so on. But you became like the single face. How did you deal with that surge of expectations and also the volume of conversations?
See, as I assess the situation, I realize that this is not a time to just think about the constituency. This is a time to think about humanity per se, the society and the nation. So everybody's problem is a genuine problem. So whoever approaches me with a problem, I try to come out with a solution or try to be sensitive towards it and reach out and try in my best capacity to help out that person. And this has been pretty much the thought process that I have kind of imbibed ever since I realized that this is a global pandemic. So whether it's from our country, within my constituency, in my city, out of my city, anyone who reaches out to me with a problem, I think I think I should try a solution to the problem, and I think that kind of helped me because then there were no barriers. It was just about trying to give your best to serve serve humanity in this once in a lifetime kind of a situation, which we may not, never probably, which we hope also, and we may also never again face. So I thought this is the time to act, and I'm glad that at least I could make a tangible difference. Looking back 7.5 months later.
Right. You must have had a very good team also, right? Helping you with so many cases coming to your attention.
Yeah, without a good team, it's absolutely impossible. We all decided at the beginning of the pandemic that this is our time, as much as we can do, and there will be various different problems at different stages of this pandemic, and that is what eventually happened, and that is what eventually is going to happen again in the future also. So at that point of time, to understand the situation, to analyze the situation, and try to help out in that particular on that particular problem or that particular issue, and understanding the issue and find the solution, and also understanding the problem. I think it was a combination of everything that helped us kind of help so many people.
Right. Pune district, we were at one point the highest cases in the country. I mean, Delhi has just overtaken us again in the last couple of days. Bangalore probably will also overtake us. Seems like the city and the district is now coming under control. I mean, what is your sense of the situation currently in Pune?
See, fingers crossed. Obviously, it is one of the most comfortable situations ever since we started out. We were first out of the blocks as Pune in terms of the rising number of cases, and so obviously there would be that I did envisage that there would be a time when we will find a plateau and then we'll start coming down. But having said that, I've talked to not only the government agencies but also the private hospitals, and now genuinely the number of cases that are being reported or who are approaching the private hospitals has lessened down. So that's a good sign. And since the last 2 weeks specifically, I think there has been a considerable drop, and that drop is still maintaining. So if this remains the way it is going, I think we should be nearing towards the end of this pandemic.
Okay, that's good to hear because Pune got into news for all the wrong reasons in the last, let's say, 2-3 months, starting especially end of June till about early September or so. And I know that several people were very worried about what happens to their friends and family. And every time you got to get into a call, like Pune was well known in not just in India but even outside. People were asking about, oh, are you from Pune? What's the situation there? Right? It was kind of difficult to fend off some of those questions for many weeks at a stretch. So
Yeah,
good to see that things are changing.
yeah.
Siddharth, you have been running restaurants before you joined politics. That has been your main profession. How do you assess because see, that is one of the worst hit industries, right? The restaurants were closed for several months. What do you see as a business situation in Pune right now? How are the businesses coping up, and any views on that?
See, obviously, my business has been entirely shut for almost 7 months, and it just reopened on the 5th of October. Percent occupancy allowed. So I think it's the worst situation to be in. There are a lot of economic issues that the entire industry is facing, and this is going to take some time and serious intervention from the government. And on a philosophical note, everyone, if all the stakeholders do not share the loss that has been incurred in during this pandemic or because of this pandemic, I think it's going to be a very uphill journey in the next probably year and a half until we get out of this rut. So I envisage a lot of misunderstandings, and there'll be a lot of tug of war into who is right and who's wrong, and even the consumer yet is not fully in a mental state to come out and dine and have have a leisurely time. So I think this industry is going to need some help to sustain and survive at least for the next 6 months. and if that is done properly, only then most of them will be able to come back. Otherwise it's going to be a tough time coming out of this serious economic situation that has been that has you know that is that we are confronting because of this pandemic.
Right. And how about other industries? Like, what are you hearing from the local entrepreneurs? Because Pune has very small businesses, right? The MSME, it's an MSME hub, manufacturing wise. So, what are you hearing from them?
See, most of them, I think the informal sector has been hit very badly, more than the formal sector, and also you, most, except for things that are absolutely necessary. Everything that you can put on a second preference are not still in the same flow as they were 7 8 months back. So I think this is going to be a post-war kind of a situation where rebuilding on the economic front will have so many dimensions to it, and every industry will be for every industry who have incurred a lot of losses will be the same, but still we'll have to customize and according to each industry's needs and the damage that has been done, and then accordingly plan a restructuring model where we will help maximum people come out of this economic rut that they have got into, that this pandemic has got us into.
Right. Uh, Pune also has a lot of people working who come from other states, other cities, and so on, right? So, do you see that as a continuing problem? A lot of people had gone back to their homes. So, have they returned, or is it still a challenge?
See, most of them haven't returned. Newer people, who never here have come to Pune for the first time seeking jobs. The people who are working here for a longer amount of time have gone back to their states, and I don't think things are going to be as before. So interconnected, the money has to flow A to C to D. So until that happens, I don't think it's going to be the same again. And so we'll have to wait it out. It's going to be a long, arduous journey. But we'll have to be always optimistic and try and kind of hold our feet, show a lot of resilience, and also seek a lot of help and intervention from the governments, both state and the center government, and the community has to rise up, and together we have to come out of this economic situation.
Right. So on that point, Siddharth, like what if you were to talk about 2 3 things which the state government should do and what the central government should do to rebuild, as you said, and you used an interesting phrase like it's like a post-war rebuilding. So what should the government be focusing on in the coming months?
See, obviously the government always thinks from a plan. Now, I as an entrepreneur will be always looking at the elevation, but to be understanding the issues of entrepreneurs right now, genuine issues of entrepreneurs, and uh, you know influxing, like for example, the banks are harassing with forced methodology, uh, techniques, and so there has intervention in which everyone bears certain amount of loss, whether it's the banks, whether it's the businessman, whether it's the consumer. Everyone has to bear some amount of loss because of this pandemic. If that uh, that balance is not maintained, then someone will be hit very hard, and someone will be hit lesser hard, and then that will cause a lot of acrimony and disturb the harmony in the society, which might lead to crime, which might lead to depression, anxiety issues, violence, and hence I think the intervention has to be in various forms at various stages depending upon different industries and how consumers are responding to those industries. So it has to be it has to be, obviously it cannot be as well planned, because it has to be planned according to the situation that is developing after every week or 2 weeks. So I think we have to be very vigilant now, and even from our side, our demands to the government and the reciprocation of the government has to be constant and probably fortnightly or monthly, and then for the next one at least 6 months to 1 year, and then probably with this kind of coordination, proper coordination and communication, we'll be able to navigate through this hard time.
Right. I mean, you have taken up several issues on your social media in terms of the facilities, healthcare facilities, especially available in the city, and how they've evolved. I mean, how should the healthcare situation in Pune change or evolve so that we don't face this again? Like any views on that?
Yeah, see, obviously, now this pandemic has shaken everyone up. So not rule out the possibility that something like this cannot happen in the near future. So we've come out with this has forced us to look at the healthcare in a different perspective, and specifically the Pandemic Act, and during this pandemic and post this pandemic, and that will help us create an infrastructure which would at least be kind of comforting in case of such a situation arising again. So I definitely think the entire globe is going to open up towards how they look at health infrastructure, and definitely India and definitely Pune will be better equipped, I think, after this experience of COVID-19.
Right. One peculiar issue which we saw in Pune was that there were multiple bodies, right? So there is PMC, there is PCMC, there is the collector office responsible for the district as a whole. Do you think it caused some challenges in like the managing the healthcare situation, or was it or is it more like perception of people?
See, obviously, it is the structure, uh, and normally, see, everybody, right from the bureaucracy to the common man to everyone, was shaken because of this pandemic. And since it is about your own health and how do you, and also transferring the disease to someone else, so it was kind of a very tricky situation, and hence everybody took their time. It was because there were also very less precedences of medical treatments as we entered. We didn't have enough PP kits. We did not have an infrastructure at all. That lockdown helped us to create some sort of infrastructure. The doctors were scared initially. Health workers were also very circumspect, and so bureaucracy also took its time. Whether it's the PMRDA, whether it's the PMC, or whether it's the leadership across in the state, they all took time to assess, analyze, and once there was certain precedences, and obviously with the voice of the common man and of political people across the party lines and social activists, it is when everybody started coming together and delivering in various aspects of controlling this pandemic, whether it is developing the health infrastructure, whether it is reaching out to people, the needy people through through ration, or whatever the current need of the common man is. So it took time, but I think now we are in a settled position in sense of the infrastructure to deal with for a few months, unless and until the cases rise at a very high level, which I don't envisage. But otherwise, I think right now we are in a steady position to handle this pandemic.
Right. So, Siddharth, talking more broadly, like what would you say Pune as a city should focus on from a civic infrastructure perspective? I mean, if you take like say the next 3-4 years, what should be the priorities to improve in the city?
See, now obviously the health infrastructure has gained a lot of prominence, and we must develop on what we have began in this pandemic. Health would be one of the most topmost priority to that health infrastructure and successfully for the next couple of years at least, so that it becomes a way of life of functioning. Apart from that, yes, there are so many projects that in Pune specifically were wonderfully planned, and we were almost executing them, and they all have stopped. So we have to, as the economic situation improves, we have to begin focusing and implementing those projects like the metro project, like the 24 by 7 uh, water pipeline project, the waste management project, the the STP project. So these are, and obviously the public transport. These are major issues. We need to look at them also, but it all depends upon how the revenue, how the entire economy gets back into the groove, and then money is again pumped into these projects where it is stopped, and again these projects start to revive. So for, I think the most important thing right now is to focus on the economic rebuilding. We have to be very liberal with our thinking, and we have to be aggressive as we get control over the pandemic, and and a lot of intervention, a lot of caution is going to be required. But once we get a hang of this economic, uh, then I think immediately we can aggressively pursue these long pending projects.
Right. So you mentioned about transportation. I think this is one of the, let's say, the pet peeves or pet complaints of people all along in Pune. And you were, of course, the director on PMPML, which is the body which runs the city buses I mean, not just in Pune but also Pimpri Chinchwad. So what was your experience there? And you started a few things. If you can just talk about them also, and then what is the future now that you are not there?
See, a role of an elected representative is to do the responsibility that it is given to him at that point of time, to its maximum potential. So when I was the director of PMPML, I analyzed the situation and decided that what we need to develop a good infrastructure for the PMPML, so that for the next 10, 15, 20 years we'll be able to serve the citizens who use public transport very well. So we incurred almost uh, 1,000 buses in that 1.5 year, which were taken hired on GCC model, and that itself has now, in fact now, just the PMPML CMD who has just joined in was so happy that he doesn't have to now the headache of that the buses are short. So now they have got enough buses that they can use to cater people who want to use public transport. But now the problem is that to run the institution, the funds have dried up as the taxes collection has dried up, or the revenue of the PMC has dried up. So hence now again, once we start providing to run the PMPML again, I think we've got good infrastructure of buses, good AC buses, electric buses, then CNG buses. We don't have any more diesel buses. I think we are in a good situation to make a mark in public transport, provided this economic situation improves and we get funds that can be regularly given to the PMPML to run the show very efficiently. Is what I think would be the challenge of the hour.
Right. So that one specific question on the electric buses, which came in during your tenure. I remember you had tweeted a few videos about your experience of using the buses. Do you see that as a solution for some of the traffic woes of Pune? Is that a sustainable thing? Because we did not get time to evaluate.
See, absolutely, it's a wonderful solution. See, when we got electric buses, I myself personally traveled in it. So many people have been using it crazily for the last year and a half or 2 years. And it's an AC bus, it's a electric bus, and also it is at the same tariff in which you travel in a non-AC bus. So it is economical also, and it is eco-friendly also, and it is comfortable also. So I think a lot of people have shifted to using electric AC buses instead of their cars or two-wheelers, and we've got wonderful stories of people inclining more towards public transport. So I think basically electric bus, the importance of electric bus is that it is if it is if the tariff is kept at the minimum, then it's an absolute win-win situation for the consumer, and they will use it so much that I think it'll people who use private vehicles. So I think electric buses is the way ahead in the future of public transport.
Right. So when we announced this episode, Siddharth, we also asked our readers to send some questions. So there are a couple of questions which have come in from people who listen to Bharat Varta. So one
Sure.
is a related one. It's on metro and the airport. So I mean, two different parts to it. I mean, what do you think? I mean, should we go for a metro expansion right now? Apart from the three lines, that is one question. The third and the second question was on the airport. I mean, we've been hearing about a new Pune airport for like what 15 years now. I moved to Pune 15 years ago. I've been hearing since Chakan, Rajguru Nagar, Purandar. How do you see that, and when do we get it? Because it's just inordinately delayed now.
Yeah, see, regarding the metro, like if you see the Delhi metro, it has been going on for almost 20 years now. And now it is probably nearing its end and the project might be completed entirely. So I think Pune metro, the work has to go on and we have to make sure that it is completed, whether this pandemic has it for a certain amount of time, but we have to make sure that it gets completed. And also, because that will ease that will add value to the public transport scenario that exists in Pune, apart from the electric buses. On the other hand, yes, the airport has been a contentious issue for some time, but I'm quite optimistic about it because when Honorable Devendraji Fadnavis was the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, he finally had zeroed in on Purandar as the place where we'll have this new international airport. They had also tied up with the Changi airport for certain expertise and how to go about this whole project, and we were on track. And I hope that the current government does not, intervene too much into it and kind of derails it for any other purpose, because that will take Pune back uh, a long way if we do not complete it or execute it earlier. It just keep changing and wasting waste time in acquisition. It's a tedious process. So I think I hope that this current government is as our honorable former chief minister Devendraji was about getting that international airport for Pune, and soon I think uh, we should be active and we should raise our voice and like we always do and see to it that its implementation begins soon.
Right. Okay. The second reader question was on a very interesting topic, which is that tourism in Pune. Pune is a site. It's a very historical city. There are several forts. So why is Pune, or what can we do to develop Pune as a tourism destination? So any thoughts on that?
See, Pune is an international city. So, in and all, Pune has everything for which a person would like to travel from anywhere in the country or the world to Pune. So, but yeah, there are so many forts around Pune which can be developed. I mean, Pune, as in I'm talking about the Pune district. So, with this airport coming in, and I think it'll change the face of Pune a lot. But tourism wise, we also have a lot of amazing places around Pune that can be developed. But I think it has to be this whole development has to be when you think about Pune, you about everything comes to your mind. Hub. It's a cultural hub. It can also be a tourism hub. It's an IT hub. They will always grow, in various directions and not be just known for a particular thing or another particular thing. So there is a lot of scope to develop tourism in and around Pune district, which I think is being looked upon, but it comes after we develop the basic infrastructure of Pune. See, like the public transport, like the like the airport, like the metro, like the 24/7 project, the sewage treatment plant project. So these are wonderful projects that are lined up. Next 5 years, if we 5 to 7, 8 years, if we kind of complete these projects, we will be through with most of the urban renewal challenges that a growing city like Pune faces, and then we will be equipped to develop on all fronts once our basic foundation is better.
Right. Okay, one last question about the Pune city, Siddharth. On the investments side, right? Like now you're talking about promoting investments in India, manufacturing, etc. And Pune traditionally has been a very strong seat of some of that, right? Both services industry, IT, as well as the manufacturing side. So, how do you see that picture evolving? Are we getting enough new firms, or is there a blip now? What's your view on that situation?
I mean, I think we are, progressively moving ahead in all those directions. I'm not aware of the latest figures regarding the investments or the FDIs that have transpired. But I think there was no reason uh, for it to come down except the pandemic. So I think Pune, weather-wise, the whole entire location-wise, the proximity to Mumbai, the culture, the education, the service industry, the IT industry, I think we are on the right track uh, towards maintaining our position as a global city. And with the next 5 years, if we again repeat, if we complete this well-planned projects.
Right, Siddharth. So, I will just end by recalling old conversation. About 3 or 4 months back, we were discussing on Twitter that once active cases go below 1,000, we will all meet at Shabri to have the Maharashtrian food. So, I'm still looking forward to that because Shabri is one of my favorite places to eat. But it's been almost like a year now that I've visited. So, hoping to get there very soon, and I hope that you will join us.
Absolutely. And now we also have the official permission to host
Yes.
you. And actually we are late by a week or two probably, because we opened up on 5th and the active cases were way below 1,000 around that time. So I think I look forward to that day on catching up with you, and all of us will have some wonderful meaningful conversations, and I hope the taste is similar to what you experienced post pre-COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. Thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ashish.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. This podcast was brought to you by the team at Bharat Varta. If you liked this podcast, then don't forget to share, subscribe, and rate us on your favorite platforms. We're available on Anchor, Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, Breaker, YouTube, and a host of other platforms. We started Bharat Varta to facilitate long-form discussions on politics, policy, and culture. We don't necessarily endorse anything that was said in this episode. If you do wish to offer us any feedback on the content or anything else, do reach out to us on social media or get in touch with us on our website, www.bharatvarta.in. The links are in the description below. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time, stay safe, take care, and Jai Hind.